October was a wild ride, which I kind of anticipated, but to be honest, it was harder than it normally is. I'm going to share all of that today with you and how we've kind of navigated the last month with our homeschooling and just some exciting things coming up. So keep watching. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Christine. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, a second generation homeschooler, and in these updates, I usually do them once a month. I just share the real life of what is going on with our homeschool, because you see so many, pretty Instagram pictures and YouTube videos about routines and day in the life videos, but not everybody shares the real behind the scenes nitty gritty of what it is like to homeschool your kids. So that is what I kind of attempt to do in these videos, and it is just a really fun way to touch base with you guys and keep you up to date with how life is going here, and that I'm more than just someone sharing homeschool tips. I'm also living it in real time, and I am not perfect, and life is not perfect, but it's also beautiful and wonderful, and that is the message I'm always trying to convey. So that is what today's video is going to be about, the real life nitty-gritty of homeschooling and what it was like for us over the month of October. So to give you a little bit of background, October is our crazy month. It's been like that for years because it's birthday month. There are a gazillion birthdays in October, not just on with our immediate family, but on both sides of the extended family. And that just makes it a very, very, very busy month. And then, there's homeschooling that is mixed into all of that as well. So I'm going to chat a little bit about our homeschooling and how that is going. I don't think we made any changes as far as curriculum goes this last month, but I have kind of done a little bit of a hybrid thing with our enrichment studies at the moment. It's going to be the last monthly update for our curriculum and stuff for the year, because next month I'm going to be doing my whole annual review of each grade level that we're using and also our family subject. So keep an eye out for that. I love filming those videos. I find those videos incredibly helpful as a homeschooling mom to see how someone is actually found using the resources come the end of the year. Now, there are a couple of things that I want to share with you before I jump into discussing all our homeschool curriculum. First is that I have a bunch of free Christmas printables in my homeschool resource library, and they are free for you to use. You're welcome to sign up, and there's a lot more in there than just the Christmas printables, but there are some really good Christmas printables in there. I think there's an Advent list to do with your kids, and also a Christmas around the world printable, a passport that you can print out and use in your homeschool if you're doing that kind of a thing this year. I also do have a Christmas copywork bundle that is a paid resource, but it will be on sale for you right now. I'm going to have all of that linked down in the description below, but please help yourself to the Homeschool Resource Library, because that is what it's there for. I always have that linked down in the description below. The second thing that I wanted to share, well, there's actually 3 things, so there's a lot on my list. First was that. Second of all, Made to Homeschool is running their Black Friday sale through the month of November, and they have 30% off of both their monthly plans and their annual plan. So it's a big deal. I've never done it off of the monthly plans. I've always just done it off of the annual plan, and to have such a good discount on all of it is pretty incredible. So you can try it out for free. You don't have to sign up for a paid plan. You can sign up for free, and for free you get access to the homeschool community, which is incredibly helpful. And you also get access to one live workshop a month, and they have really good speakers coming in. Unfortunately, by the time this video goes live, you would have missed out on the November one, which I'm really looking forward to as I'm filming this, because it's about Laura Ingalls, and my daughter's actually doing a history project on Laura Ingalls at the moment. So we're going to be tuning in for that. But you can always catch December's live when that comes out. So you get access to that live workshop once a month. Now on the paid plans, there's so much more. And one of my favorite things is the resource library that they have. There are so many homeschool printables, articles, videos, all of that. It's just a really, really exhaustive library that you can have access to. And it's really an affordable subscription. So the community is fantastic, but also the resources they provide. And then you don't just get access to one live workshop a month, they have one a week. So you can join in to all of those, and they have the recordings there. So I will have that linked below for you. You can go and check out their different prices and all of that, and also their free tier. You can sign up for the free one. There's like no risk involved or anything. You can cancel at any time. It's really great, and I love Made to Homeschool. I appreciate the heart behind the company, and I really do recommend them. So I wanted to share that. And then the final thing I wanted to share before we jump into the heart of the video is that my homeschool planner for 2025 is available. So it's available on Amazon, and it's available on my store, and it's on Etsy as well, but I tend to promote my store a little bit more because there are fewer selling fees for me there, but you get the same product. So you can get it either in a PDF format, or you can get it printed through Amazon. So there's a dated one and there's an undated one. And I will have one more coming, which is actually the one I'm going to be using this year. And that's only going to be available as a PDF because it's a color version, and to have it made through Amazon as a color version will significantly increase the price. I'm not saying that 100% for sure because I haven't actually gone in and done it, but I just know color printing is a lot more expensive. So my idea was to keep the planner affordable in the print version, and the way I do that is by having it done through Amazon. So yeah, it's just, I'll have that link down below for you if you want to check it out. If you used it last year and really enjoyed it, it's available again this year. And I would love reviews from you guys because that does help me know how to make changes and edits in the future, but also it's helpful on Amazon to get genuine reviews as well. Once I get organized and have that printed out, I will have a flip through video for you and of the other versions as well as I get to them. So just bear with me. It's just been a little bit crazy over here. Now let's move on to the actual curriculum that we've been using, and I am going to share about the art of reading again. This is a sponsored video. Thank you to Foundations of Homeschool for sponsoring today's video. I have been talking about the art of reading for, I don't know, like a few months now, and I have been using it with my daughter for a significant amount of time. It is a phonics and reading curriculum, and we are up to lesson 70 something out of 100. I do anticipate that we will finish it by the end of this year. So this is stage one of the art of reading. It comes as a PDF. There is going to be a printed version of it available in the future. I don't have a date to share with you, but that is going to happen. It is made by a homeschool mom for homeschool moms, but it is not some haphazard slop together curriculum. It is very well researched. I have been extremely impressed by this, and I have used it with my daughter, who honestly has been my toughest kid when it comes to learning how to read. That kind of took me by surprise. I wasn't anticipating that, but she has needed a lot more hand-holding and a lot more one-on-one work with her reading and phonics. And I have been very grateful for this curriculum because the pacing of it has been fantastic for us. I think that the biggest thing is that this is set up to be a mastery-based curriculum, and there's so many activities in it that keep it interesting. Like, there's no 2 days that are alike. It's very unique, but the mastery's still there, and the pacing has been fantastic. With every other reading program that I have used with my children over the years, we've had to stop at one point or another to take a break because we just could not move forward with it because they weren't getting the concepts, and there was no way for them to move forward without immense frustration. And so we took a break. With this one, I have not had to do that, and that is not because she's just getting it. It's not. She's actually really struggling as far as moving forward with things. She's still very much in the CVC word department. We've just moved on to like special blends, and she is getting it, but very slowly, and yet we still haven't had to stop this. We're still able to move forward. I like the way that the lessons are set up. So one of the things I really appreciate are the way the stories are. I'm going to jump to where we are at the moment in the lesson that we did yesterday, which was lesson 78. And we just learned about long vowel sounds. Hopefully you can see this. And so we did the lesson, and it took her a little bit to get through this. She was tired, like her brain was tired. And so what I did was I stopped after this lesson page, which we did, and then she came back later and did the story, which was also scheduled for the day. And so we didn't do that all in one sit down because her brain needed a break, but she was able to come back to it. And I think that's my favorite thing about it, is just the pacing at which it is. It's, if your child was capable of going through this much quicker, you could, absolutely. And I think that's what's kind of frustrating. A lot of the reading curriculums are set up like that. Like if your child can go through it faster, they can. There's no problem with that. If your child isn't able to go through it at the pace at which it's set, it's harder to slow down. Like there's not enough review material and it's not set up in a way that they can slow down. This is like, I haven't had to stop lessons. I've been able to still keep moving forward with her, and that's a big deal. So I'm actually going to be doing a review, or not a review video, a comparison video between this and another very popular curriculum, The Good and the Beautiful, which is what I have seen this compared to. Like people are like, how is this different? It is so different. And I have used The Good and the Beautiful with like 2 out of 3 of my kids, and I've used their preschool with all 3 of my kids. So I know that curriculum very well, and this is very different to that. So I'm going to do that video probably next week. It's not a sponsored video. I'm doing that because I think it will be very helpful to people. So this is going well. It doesn't mean that reading is coming easy to her. In fact, it's been really challenging, but I have not felt any need to switch from anything. We're going to continue using this. I plan to finish it by the end of the year with her. I have had to do some flashcards with her because she's needed some extra help. And that's just been with some sight words like of and off and one and the. It's just a her thing. It's not a curriculum thing by any means. And that's just something I've added. She is getting there. She is making progress. It's just a lot slower. And I've really appreciated this. So thank you to Foundations of Homeschool for introducing me to this, because it has been a blessing in our home. And I love how colorful the pages are. She loves the activities in here. And that has been really fun. Like the activities are really fun. The lessons are still very manageable in their length. 15 minutes, like there's a difference between 15 minutes with a kid who's just getting it and it's real quick and easy, and 15 minutes for a kid where everything is really hard for them. And that's why I've like broken up the reading some days, but most days we're not doing that. It's just the odd day where we have to. I have it linked down in the description below, and a coupon code that you can use, and you can check out sample pages and things from her. I do have a flip through video, which I'll link for you here so you can see what it looks like on the inside. Stage 2 is coming soon, and I'm very excited about that, to have a good look at that. And then there will be stage 3 as well, and that will be the complete phonics program. So that's the art of reading. That's how it's been going for her. And everything else that we have been using is still going well for her. I love their handwriting program. Their handwriting program, hands down, my favorite handwriting program we have ever used. The more we're using it, the more I enjoy it. And we're just doing 1 page a day at the moment with my daughter, but I just love how it teaches letter formation. It is simple and to the point, but it's like fun logic, little activities in it and all of that. That's also in my flip through video that I did of this, so you can see that there. And actually, I printed it off for my other child who is really struggling with handwriting because, one, it's harder because they don't have as good fine motor control, but also they can't be bothered. This child just can't be bothered. And so that is the goal that we set for our final term of the year, was to really focus on handwriting practice. And this child was not too happy about doing a kindergarten level handwriting curriculum, but I was like, I'm sorry, but you need to learn the basics. We have to go back to basics, because unless you're going to become a doctor, this needs to be fixed. It's like, it was really bad. It's been working really well for that child as well, and we're doing like 4 pages a day. And we'll get through that by the end of the year, because I just wanted to go right back to the basics, to actual letter formation, and then we'll work on just having very neat handwriting, because I think that was half the issue, was the letter formation was not there. It was a lot harder. And so yeah, I've used it with another child as well. So there's that. Anyway, back to my youngest, who's technically in 1st grade this year. She's been doing 1st grade math with confidence. Again, like, it hasn't come to her as naturally as my other 2 kids, and that's okay. She is, again, making progress, and I'm seeing progress. Half of the issue is it's not just learning for her, it is also character issues and perfectionism and things like that that we're working through. And so that is a big part of it. I'm not willing to back down from that. We just have to work through it, and it will be easier to work through it now while she's young than it will be when she's already like a lot more firmly set in her ways as she gets older. So Even if we have to move through her curriculum more slowly because we have to deal with that, that is what we're going to do. So Math with Confidence, still very happy with that curriculum. It's fantastic. Used it with all 3 of my kids for years now, and I've used every level that they have available, and I highly recommend it to homeschool parents. That is not a sponsored opinion or anything. That is 100% a lived experience opinion. That's really going well, and those are her main subjects that we've been working on. It's just reading, math, and handwriting. And then for my daughter, who's in 3rd grade this year, she is going through Math with Confidence, 3rd grade. She is going to be finishing that up, and that's been going well for her still. All About Reading, level 4 is what she's in. That's going well. She's also been using Fix-It Grammar, and I've been really happy with that. She's picking it up quite naturally. I think she's just finished up week 4, I think, for that. So that's going well for her. Her handwriting is all good. She's doing the good and the beautiful. And then her spelling, so she's just about to finish up level 2 from All About Spelling, and that has gone well, but she's my workbook kiddo. She really likes workbooks, and she was kind of like slowed down on one of the lessons. Like it's like the second to last lesson. And I had an Abeka grade 1 spelling book that had that same like spelling concept she was going over. And so I gave that to her for her just to work on it a bit more. And she was like, please, Mom, can I do this book, please? So we may just finish the year using that instead of jumping into level 3 of All About Spelling and just see how she goes with it. I also have grade 2 Abeka spelling. So like we might use All About Spelling and then use Abeka just as like a supplement or something like that. I don't know. I haven't like made up my mind with that. And then my eldest child, he is doing IEW, Structure and Style. He's up to week 9. He's just finished up in that. Still going really well. I still have to handhold him through a lot of that, but I'm okay with that. He is learning a lot, and it has got him writing like he never was before, so I'm very happy with that curriculum. He's been pretty disciplined with getting it done. Fix-It Grammar. Also, I've seen him like start to click with that. Like it was not coming naturally to him when he started. Grammar is not his strong suit, and it has absolutely been starting to click over the last couple of weeks. I've noticed a big shift in that. So he's up to week 13 in that. I think he's just finished up. I love that there is just quick grammar practice daily, but also copy work. Even if we didn't get to handwriting in a day, there's still that practice there. So I really like that. He is up to Unit 5 in Math with Confidence, grade 5. So he will be finished the first book by the end of the year, which is also really good. We're tracking along well with that. And then his spelling, we started the phonetic zoo like last term, and he's just started list 3. I tell you, getting through list 2 was a challenge for him. I'm really happy with the spelling curriculum for him. It is simple and to the point. So we're using a lot of stuff from IEW now. We're using, for him, he's using their grammar, writing, and spelling. So basically a full language arts program from them. And I'm very happy with it. So I have no plans to change from that. And then both my older 2 are still going through the Sunlight literature book pick. So they're just reading through that. I think my son's actually basically finished. He's been reading through them a lot quicker than what they were scheduled. I think he might only have 1 book left, and he'll easily finish that before the end of the year. So that's going well. And then our group subject, which is like history, science, literature, Bible, all that, we're going through all of that just as is written down for us. So Sunlight for history, Bible, literature. We're using Berean Builders Science in the beginning for our science, and all of that is going very well. Very happy with it. The one thing I made a change on was our enrichment studies. We're using a Gentle Feast, and what we're planning on for the end of the school year is a grandparents' night, which I did kind of get this idea from Abby from Rooted in Rest. I know she does something similar to this for their end of year school. And so we're kind of adopting our own version of it this year, where my kids have each picked out a person in history that they're going to study and do a presentation on. They're going to dress up as them. And they also have all picked a poem which they have memorized and have been practicing presenting. So instead of doing all their poetry recitation that's in a Gentle Feast, we just picked one of the poems that they liked this year, and they've been memorizing that and practicing that. I think we're doing everything else still in a Gentle Feast except for folk songs. And I think there was like another folklore, like read aloud, and we haven't done that. So we did A Pilgrim's Progress and we did Aesop's Fables this year, but we haven't done whatever else was scheduled because I just wanted us to focus on the history study for the end of the year presentation. So that is how everything's going. So as I said, we had birthdays and we actually took a 2-week break. Initially, I'd planned just a 1-week break, which is our norm. But then the girls' birthdays happened, and my girls' birthdays are back to back. They're a day after each other. Because they had their birthdays back to back, I wasn't anticipating taking the whole week of school off, but we just needed to. The post-birthday, slump is very real. And so we've just finished our second full week of school for our final school term. It's been rough, guys. It's been real rough. Not because the schoolwork is bad or the curriculum is bad or the schedule's bad, but just parenting has been hard work. It has drained so much of me the last couple of weeks. And the first week I kind of blamed it on, having 2 weeks off with too much screen time and too much sugar and too many late nights. But the second week really doesn't have that excuse, and I realized it's just character issues that we need to work on, and that's been hard work. So our school days have lasted a lot longer than is typical for us, but it's just been hard work. And I want to share this with you because I've been homeschooling for 6 years now. I'm a second generation homeschooler. I feel fairly confident in choosing resources and scheduling our days and all of that. And yet there's still things that come up that make me stop in my tracks, and I have to go back to ground zero and figure it out from there and build back up, because I'm like, what the heck am I doing? And sometimes I feel like a first-time mom. And yeah, I'm just sharing that with you to be realistic. And something that I think it was Abby Halberstadt shared, I'm not 100% sure. It was like her or another mom that I follow. It was in response to someone asking the question. They had a toddler, and they were doing all the right parenting things as far as enforcing boundaries and being loving and all that. And yet the toddler was not responding how you would want them to respond. And she said, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just in the thick of it. And it was a really good reminder for me during this last week that just because you're not getting the desired result right now does not mean that you're not setting the foundation and the groundwork to reap the rewards of that in the future. And not just for yourself, but for your child. And I think that's what I really have the heart for with my kids. And I say that to them, I am not doing this to be unkind or cruel or anything like that. I love you too much to not work on this with you right now. I love you way too much to bow out and let you have your way and go easy on this. And so it's been 2 weeks of that for us in our home, and that has been hard work, but I know it's also the work that counts. That is how everything's going. Our schedule's just fine. I was even more convicted this last little bit about just making homeschool our main thing. And I don't know, I think there's just been this idea in my head that, not even an idea in my head, but just the homeschool community at large really focuses a lot on extracurriculars and getting out the house and meeting up with people. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with it, it's just too busy for us. We just can't do our homeschool academics well and make time for all of those things. And I felt really convicted when I looked at what the Lord asks of me when it comes to raising my children. Me in general, it's to be, a good wife, a good homemaker, and also to raise my children to know Him in every aspect of our lives. And there's no commandment in Scripture to go out and be do all these meetups with other kids because that's what your kids need. But being in our community is important. And so if we're going to make time to leave the house and go to all these things, I'd rather that we're in our community and serving it, whether that's through our church or, our community at large, because that's how I want to teach my kids to serve. And socialization is not a concern of mine at all. My kids are perfectly well socialized. And I just think the whole idea of compartmentalizing socialization is just silly. It's just dumb. It's not the way that socialization actually works. So yeah, that's just something that I felt more conviction about lately, is just not about slowing down life, although that kind of inherently comes with that, but just that it's too much of a distraction for us to be out of the house all the time. So we still just have our one extracurricular, which is art class for my daughter. And my daughter is also doing piano lessons with me. I'm at a place where I'm able to do that with her, whereas I was not this time last year. And let's kind of move on from that into a little more personal life update. And that is one thing I'm really, really, really grateful for, is that my health has been so much better this year. My mental health specifically, but also my physical health. This time last year, I was in a very dark place, and it got a lot darker before it got better, which I'm going to try not to think about too much because it actually just makes me want to cry. And homeschooling and life was just really hard last year, which I know some of you know about because I did share about that as I was going through it. But we have had some really big challenges this year, big life things, and we're currently still very much in that season. And it's not bad stuff. Not all of it is bad stuff. Some of it has been kind of bad. We're in a really hard season at the moment. We've had big transitions throughout the year in just about every area of our life, but big areas are like church and also business, my husband's work. My work situation, big changes, big hard things. And I'm just so grateful that the Lord has given me good health this year, because managing all of this would have felt completely impossible if I had not been in a place where I could be a really good supportive wife to my husband. And last year, I just didn't have the capacity to do a lot. I was leaning on him so much, and this year it's kind of been flipped the other way around. And I'm just really grateful to the Lord for working in our lives that way. So even amidst the hard stuff, he's just been so good to us. But if you think about our family, do just pray for us, because we're in a stage of just making big decisions, and there's a lot of pressure with a lot of things, and not just me, but my extended family as well, on both sides of the family. And so, if you could think about us and pray for us, I would really appreciate that. It has been my heart's desire just to make our home a place of retreat for my husband, because he's just working so hard and he's just such a good man. I just want him to feel loved and supported, and nothing less than that when he comes through the doors at the end of the day. So I don't want like this by any means to be a pity party, because with the hard and the pressure and all that, God gives us a lot of blessings with that, but it's also a lot of responsibility. So just pray for discernment and wisdom for us, and just for me to have my heart in the right place. I think that when you're going through seasons like this, it's a huge growing process, and it helps you to trust in the Lord so much more. And I can say that because I've walked through other seasons like this. When we bought our house, that was very much a season of that for me, where I had to just trust the Lord so much throughout that. And it's always in the waiting where we grow the most if we let that happen. So instead of trying to push through the season and just get through it, choosing to appreciate it and thank the Lord for it, and grasp the learning opportunities that he's giving us, is just so much better. But it's a lot easier said than done. So I'm sure that there are a lot of you in a season like that at the moment, because I know it's not just unique to our family. And I will be praying for you as well. But I am really grateful to the Lord for what he's given us, and excited for the future, because I know that he is good, and no matter what, like, we know how this will end. So that's a blessing to me. I'm not somebody who lives in fear in general as far as the state of the world and all of that. I know that some people that's really crippling. My parents were really good at raising us not to think that way, because we know how it ends. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for the peace that comes with it. And that's just a little personal life update. And we're going into spring here in New Zealand. We're in spring at the moment, going into the summer and the very busy season. Here it's Christmas, and my husband works in retail, so it gets crazy even when things aren't normally hard. So yeah, it's going to be a busy season for us, but there's also going to be lots of fun stuff coming up. Family time, and the weather just improves, and I'm so grateful for that. I've been in the garden a lot, and that's been a big blessing. So this is a very long video now. I already had to restart the camera because it told me I've been talking too long. So, but I did want to share that with you, and just ask for your prayers as we walk forward as a family in this season. If you have any questions for me about whatever, whether it's Made to Homeschool and their sale, whether it's the art of reading, or my printables and my homeschool planner, or just our homeschool in general, leave them down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Bye.